So you're dreaming of a new bathroom here in Miami. Well, you might want to brace yourself because the price tag can be a little higher than you might like. Today, we are going to deconstruct exactly what a Miami bathroom remodel really costs. This is the number one question on every homeowner's mind. And honestly, the answer can be a real shock to the system. We're not just talking about, a few new tiles and a fresh coat of paint. We're talking about a full-on professional overhaul. And there it is. For a standard 5 by 8 foot bathroom, the kind most of us have, you're looking at anywhere from $38,000 to $55,000. Yeah, just take a moment with that one. It's a lot to process, I get it. But believe it or not, that number, it's just the beginning of the story. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around that number, we've got to break it down because that price can swing, and I mean really swing, depending on if you're going for a simple cosmetic refresh or a totally decked out luxury transformation. So what do you actually get for your money? Well, a basic refresh, where all the plumbing stays right where it is, that's going to run you somewhere between $18,000 and $29,000. The mid-range, which is our sticker shock lumber, that involves a full gut job. And if you're dreaming big, a premium luxury remodel with a brand new layout and all the high-end finishes, you're easily looking at $70,000 or a whole lot more. Right, so why the huge Miami premium? Why does a bathroom remodel here just cost so much more than in other places? It's not just inflation, folks. There are some really unique factors at play in this market. It really boils down to a perfect storm of three things: the crazy high cost of skilled labor, our super strict hurricane-proof building codes, and, you guessed it, the logistical nightmare of working in some of Miami's neighborhoods. Let's start with labor. And look, we are not talking about just any handyman. In Miami, you absolutely need skilled, licensed, and insured pros who are experts in things like complicated waterproofing and just navigating our city's unique quirks. That level of expertise comes at a premium, and it'll eat up 30 to 40% of your total budget. And then you've got our building codes. Because Miami is what's called a high-velocity hurricane zone, any new window you install has to be impact rated. I mean, just look at that price difference. A hurricane window can easily cost more than double a standard one. And that's just one example. The same principle applies to pretty much everything, from your ventilation to your waterproofing. Finally, where you live really matters. Remodeling in a high-rise in Brickell or a historic home on Miami Beach? Yeah, you can expect to add a 10 to 20% premium right on top. Why? Well, just imagine your contractor trying to navigate a maze of no parking, crazy condo rules, difficult deliveries. It all adds up. All right, we get it. It's expensive. But where is all that money actually going? Let's peel back the layers of a typical mid-range budget and uncover some of those hidden costs. So, for a typical project, here's kind of how it breaks down. Labor is the biggest slice of the pie, no surprise there, at 35%. Then you've got your big, visible items, the tile, the plumbing fixtures, the cabinets. But see that other category? That's where the real surprises are hiding. So let's really dig into that other slice of the pie. It's easy to budget for the pretty tile and the cool vanity you picked out, but what about all the critical stuff that's happening behind the scenes? Behind the walls. These are what I call the invisible costs, and they can totally derail your budget. Permitting alone can be up to $2,500. Tearing everything out and hauling it away, another $3,000. And waterproofing, that can go up to $4,500. And let me tell you, in Miami's climate, this is non-negotiable, and it's the one line item that catches almost every single homeowner off guard. So, with all these potential landmines, how in the world do you keep your project on track and on budget? Let's talk about how to dodge the most common budget busters. So get this. According to the National Kitchen and Bath Association, nearly 1 out of every 3 remodels goes over budget. And the usual suspects? Nasty surprises lurking in your walls like mold or old leaky pipes, scope creep, which is when you just can't resist adding one more cool feature, and, of course, those beautiful imported materials that end up getting stuck in shipping for months. Your absolute best defense against all of this is a detailed, fixed price quote. You have to insist on it. It needs to include a super detailed scope of work, proof of their license and insurance, itemized costs for everything, and I mean everything, especially that waterproofing system, and a really clear payment schedule. This piece of paper is your shield. It protects you. All of this really leads us to a fundamental philosophy for remodeling in Miami. It's not just about making things look pretty. It's about building something that can actually stand up to our challenging climate. And this right here is the core principle that should guide your entire project. Your budget has to prioritize resilience before aesthetics. Build it to handle Miami's heat and humidity first, and then you can focus on making it look good. The data doesn't lie. The number one reason Miami bathrooms feel way too soon is because homeowners cheap out on that invisible 15% of the total cost. That's the money that should be going to a bulletproof waterproofing system and a really powerful ventilation fan. Trust me, it's the investment that protects all your other investments and saves you from crazy expensive repairs down the road. So, as you start to plan your dream remodel, I want you to ask yourself this one final question. Are you building a budget for a bathroom that just looks good for a couple of years? Or are you building one that is truly made to last? One that can withstand the Miami climate for decades? Because the answer to that question is going to determine the success of your entire project.